Welcome to the vocabulary lesson for the conversation, The Wedding. In this conversation, Joe is speaking with one of our friends named Will. They're speaking about Will's wedding. Okay, let's begin with the conversation. Joe first says, "Hey Will, how's it going?" How's it going? Or how's it going? This is short for how is it going? So you wouldn't see how's it going in written English, but you would definitely hear how's it going in conversational English. It also means how are you? Will says, "Hey, what's going on?" What's going on? This is short for what is going on, and that's what you would see in written English. But in conversational English, you would hear what's going on. It also means, what are you doing? Then Will says, "Not a lot." Now this is kind of funny because this would have been an answer that Joe would have given to Will. When Will said, hey Joe, what's going on? And then Will says, "Not a lot." So really, that would have been an answer Joe would have said, "Not a lot." But for some reason, I don't really know why, Will says, "Not a lot." Okay, moving along. Then Joe says, "Man, you know what? Now that I see you right here, or now that I see you here, I don't think I've seen you in about 6 weeks. Will says, "Yeah," just agreeing with Joe. And Joe says, "Where you been hiding?" Now, where you been hiding? The way that you would see this in written English would be, where have you been hiding? But Joe, just speaking normal conversation, he's making it shorter. Where you been hiding? And what this means is it's not really asking Will if he's been hiding from Joe, but it's saying, or Joe is saying this like, I haven't seen you in a long time. So if someone says, "Where have you been hiding?" they're just saying it when they haven't seen that person in a long time. Where you been hiding? For example, I had not seen my friend Susan in a long time. So when I saw her, I said, "Hey, where you been hiding?" And then Will answers, "I don't know. Long time no see, though." Long time no see. This means it has been a long time since we have seen each other. For example, I had not seen my friend Susan in a long time. So when I saw her, I said, "Long time no see." Joe laughs and says, "Yeah." And then Will says, how have you been?" So he's saying, how have you been doing? How is everything? And Joe says, "Yeah, I'm doing really well." Doing, just being short for doing. Joe says, I don't think, you know what? I haven't seen you since your wedding. Now, a wedding, this is a marriage ceremony, or it's when two people get married. And Will says, I know, I want to tell you all about it. I can't believe you didn't make it. You didn't make it. What Will is saying here is, you were not able to be there. I can't believe you were not able to be there. You didn't make it. An example of this would be, it's too bad you didn't make it to my party. We all had a lot of fun. You didn't make it. And Joe says, "Yeah, you know what? I told you the only reason I didn't make it is because my uncle was getting married back east." what Joe's talking about here, back east, is the eastern side of America. So he has family that lives on the eastern side of America. That's where his uncle was getting married, in a state on the eastern side. And Joe goes on to say, so, I was gone the entire week. Or he's saying, I was gone the whole week, all of the week. And then Joe says, but I was super bummed about it. Super bummed. This means to be very upset. So Joe's saying he was super bummed, or he was very upset to not make it to Will's wedding. Super bummed. For example, I was super bummed to miss your party. I wish I could have gone. Super bummed. And then Will says, well, you missed a good one. So a good one, he's talking about his wedding. You missed a good wedding. You missed a good one. And Joe says, yeah, I know. I mean, or Joe's saying, what I'm trying to say is, I was bummed that I couldn't be there with all our friends. And I'd never had a chance, or I'd never had an opportunity to meet Isabel's family. So, I'm really bummed that I missed that too. Isabel, this is Will's wife. And Will says, yeah, it was really nice having everybody out here from Spain. When he says out here, he's talking about in San Francisco. So Isabel, his wife, is from Spain. Her family, or some of her family, came from Spain to San Francisco for the wedding. Joe says, yeah. So he's just agreeing with Will. Yeah being slang, or casual or informal for yes. And then Will says, and we had a good time. And Joe says, how long were you and Isabel together, or dating is what that means, before you guys got married? Now, guys, a lot of times it means men or boys, but it can also mean a mix of men and women, or boys and girls. So what guys means here, what Joe is saying, how long had you and Isabel been dating or been together before you guys got married? He's saying before you both got married. And Will says 2 years. And then Joe says, wow, oh my God, I don't believe it. Time flies. Time flies. This means to be surprised about how much time has gone by. An example of time flies would be time flies when you are having fun. Time flies. And then Will says, yeah, just agreeing with Joe. And Joe says, I remember that, when she first answered the ad you had for a roommate. So what Joe is talking about here is, I remember, Will, when you put an advertisement in the newspaper needing a roommate or needing someone to live with you to help pay the rent. I remember when you put this advertisement in the newspaper and then Isabel saw the advertisement and called you. And then Will just laughs. And Joe says, you guys broke the golden rule. So what he's saying is you both broke, or you ignored or didn't pay attention to the golden rule. Golden rule, this means the most important thing about something. The golden rule. An example of golden rule would be, Joe believes that the golden rule of life is to treat people as you would like them to treat you. The golden rule. And then Joe goes on to say, as far as roommates go, which is don't sleep with your roommates when they move in. Sleep with, this means to have sex with. Sleep with. So he's saying you broke this rule that you're not supposed to have sex with your